Look it up.
Total flight is 6 hours and 51 minutes.
Well, good morning.
Charlotte, yep.
Is it? That's what I thought. Okay. Let's see. Seems like everything's okay. So, what I was going to talk about today is comparing. Comparing. Noticing that somebody said in a group I'm in, I got so many thoughts going on in here. Okay, so then he talked about what we're looking at or what we're seeing ourselves as, or we see ourselves as these bodies and minds and thoughts. And uh, there was a post that a friend John wrote about who's here? Who's here? Good morning, Margie. Good to see you this morning. And most Sunday mornings. um, yeah, John McIntosh, who I just love. I've talked with him. Hi, Ton. Good to see you. Um, John McIntosh, I highly recommend if you're interested in getting beyond the thoughts of I'm a body, I'm all these thoughts, which are constantly causing you stress and strife, and you, they aren't who you are. And if you, John McIntosh writes, "Hi, Angelique. Good to see you here." Oh my God, Angelique and I, we went to Jeff Foster's retreat in Belgium together. Oh my God, and we weren't. She's testament to me going 5 full days without speaking. She's probably the only, well, Michelle too, but 5 days, no talking. I know everybody that knows me says that isn't possible. Angelique knows. Anyway, yeah, that rearranges a lot in your head when you don't speak, especially when you speak. She was silent. She said. Anyway, John McIntosh he just had a beautiful post, and somebody called him a narcissist for losing his being nothing, which is, I mean, it's not nothing. It's basically empty. No, hi Cynthia, good to see you. Good Sunday morning to all of you. Well, Angelique, it's not a Sunday morning, but um, I got so much going on. I just got a text from. Anyway, God. So, where was I going? We were talking about thoughts. And being empty. Being empty. Being it to me, it's not really about being empty. It's about seeing yourself before the thoughts. Seeing yourself as the No, not being attached to the thoughts, not being one with the thoughts. They're like, I had an experience this week that was really cool. After I got out of meditation, I was, I was, there was a, like, I was behind the thoughts. Like, Lori was doing all the doings, but the awareness of what I really am was behind, watching it all. That's the very first, well, the first time in a long time, let's put it that way, where it was following the feet, literally following the feet with this, all the thoughts not sucked into as if they were me. It was so beautiful. It's it comes and goes for everybody. It's here, it's off and on, but we don't even notice it when we're caught up in the thoughts, which is most of the time. But it notice comparing is what I wanted to talk about today. Comparing to another, as if as soon as the thoughts are about he or she is better than or less than, it hurts. This body tells you it hurts. Well, so and so doesn't have da da da, or so and so has, and I don't. Oh, it that comparing, it's so painful in this body, and the reason the the pain is your body getting you to realize that what you're thinking and believing isn't true. Anytime you feel yourself being upset, like constricting, this tightening inside, breathe. See how it comes down? The minute you breathe, follow that breath, you are completely out of your mind. You're out of this. It takes you back into the body where the feelings are, and you can identify where that feeling is, or and what the qualities are of it. It's either contraction. I Most of mine is in the gut, in the belly. It's a lot of constrict when I'm following a thought that's uncomfortable or a trigger happens. There's automatic contraction in the gut, and as it's as soon as I notice, see, as soon as I notice, I, not being the thoughts, the one behind the thoughts. Somebody said once that you can to pretend, use your mind to pretend you're on the shoulder or behind the shoulder in everything you do, instead of being, because our point of reference seems to be we are somewhere behind here. If you guys, have you ever thought of who you are and where you're located? Where are the thoughts located? Where are they? Have you ever had that thought? Where are they located? They're not going to cut open your head in brain surgery and say, oh, they're the thoughts. They are not real. A thought isn't even a reality, it's imagination. Past and future, most of the time, is what it's all about. The past and the future, all of which are thoughts, imagination. Hardly. Okay, so when this happened this week, it was now, literally now, not in thoughts of future or past. Now, whenever there's a thought, any bunch of thoughts of future, that's pain in the body because the future is always a worry. What if? And nobody ever answers what if. It's just an open ended what if. If you answer it, well, what if um, it rains tomorrow? Yeah. So what if it rains tomorrow? What? I mean, once you put something to it instead of an open ended what if, like, what if I get in a car accident tomorrow? Yeah. What if I get in a car accident tomorrow? It's going to be something's going to happen. There's going to be something taken care of. There's going to be cops called. There's going to be the insurance card. It's all going to. What? That's all future thinking. That's not now. Takes you completely out of the now. All of that. All of it is all not here now. And you can feel it. That's what causes anxiety in the body. Thinking about the past, what happened, and then the future of what might happen. It thinks it will, but you don't know. We don't know anything. We really don't know anything. We think that this mind thinks it knows everything. And it loves to know and be right. It will argue, argue, argue. Argue, argue. Oh, that's what I wrote about how arguing, needing to be right. That's another ego thing. Needs to be right and it loves to compare to others. Whether it comes out better than or less than, both of them are upset in the body. It hurts to like see somebody homeless on the street and feel better than or even feel sorry for. I feel so sorry. I feel so bad. How many times do you ever notice yourself saying, I feel so bad. I feel so bad about, I feel so bad. Feeling bad hurts. Can you just breathe and see life is what it is? The meaning that our minds put on it is what makes this feel bad, what makes it feel uncomfortable inside. The meaning, our minds put meaning on everything. Constant, it's immediate. There's a seeing and then a meaning gets put on it. And the meaning, it doesn't have to mean anything. Nothing has to mean anything. And the meanings are what takes you out of the now, takes you away, like a step away out of right here, right now. Woman sitting in chair. Bring it back to the simplest thing when your mind is 1,000 miles away in all kinds of scenarios that aren't happening, that literally aren't happening. It acts like it. Okay, so it's got the scenarios going of the accident or whatever, and there's all kinds of upset inside when none of that's happening. None of it is happening. And you thinking it's thinking about other people and how they are better off, even if they're what the mind thinks is better off because of, I don't know, they have more money or they have more things, or that's, you don't know what's going on inside somebody. They can have, I mean, it's been proven by a lot of the biggest stars having to take drugs because they can't deal. They can't deal with all of this. Even though they have all the money and all the, well, Jim Carrey says he wishes everybody could have all the money and all the things the fame, because they'll see that that's not it. When I saw Elton John's Rocket Man, which I highly recommend, you guys all know that. That movie is just amazing, but you see his ego just building, 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 all from that little boy who felt unseen, unhurt, unloved. Oh my God, that movie just touches so much in me of how the ego gets built. I mean, his costumes get bigger and bigger and bigger as his ego gets bigger, and then the collapse. And he has beautifully gone through it and met his 5-year-old little boy and had to, oh, and that's, I, whoops, prompted me. Well, now I can't get off. Oh my gosh. Come on. So this is my, I don't know if I showed you, did I show you guys this? That's me when I was, I don't know, three or four, something like that. Um, so every time my home screen comes on, I see her. And that brings me right back to the innocence and love. She didn't need it. She didn't worry about a future. She just loved. There was no, I don't love me. They don't love me. I'm not good enough. There's something wrong with me. I can do this wrong. None of that. It was just in the moment, loving life, loving. It's not even. It's not even a thought of life. It's just enjoy in herself without all those thoughts. That's why it's so much fun to be around children, unless you are uncomfortable with the child within you. Then you have a problem with children. You try to make them behave. You make them, they have to fit into your box of expectation, which is what kills a kid's spirit. That's what makes them, oh, I do something wrong. I did something wrong. That's when it all starts coming on. I've done something wrong. What's wrong with you is the message that comes through. My grandson is a year old now, and he, in the moment, something upsets him, he cries, gets over with, he's in the moment, It just, now is all there is for him, because he doesn't know he even has eyeballs. He's beginning to learn ears and nose and mouth and tongue, and he's knowing all this stuff already. But he doesn't know he's a person. He doesn't think of himself as a person. He's not a person to him. He's not. And when we take on the person, the me, then it can do wrong. Or it can do right, which is what it usually strives for. Once it starts believing it can do wrong, it strives to do it right to get the love, get the approval. And that goes on through life. How can I get the approval of someone else? Because I don't feel it here. I don't feel it. I don't acknowledge it. I don't need it. I am it. When you don't need approval, if everyone didn't need approval in this life, would there be any beauty regimen? Would there be any plastic surgery? Would there be any uh, dieting? Anything to make it acceptable. And the thing is, everybody who loves you out there loves you for you. It has nothing to do with this body or what it looks like, what it has nothing to do, anything to do with this body. Everybody that I love, I could give a shit about what their body looks like. It has, if you notice, the people you love, it doesn't matter. You just love them for, I don't even know if there's a for. You just love them because it's coming out of you. You don't need their love either. It's about giving it. It's so beautiful to give love, just to shine it all over everybody. And if it's not accepted, oh well, that's okay because it doesn't take it from here. If somebody rejects it, it doesn't say a damn thing about you. It doesn't take away anything from you. That whole narcissism thing is the minute somebody calls somebody a narcissist, whenever, whatever you call somebody, three fingers are coming back at you. Where are you not seeing that in you? That's the bottom line. Whenever you point your finger at somebody else as being whatever, you're not seeing it in yourself. That's the bottom line. In the deeper, I want to say deeper, in the some of the spiritual, people that have seen through this whole dream, they all, in the Course of Miracles and everything, they talk about there's no one else out there. Each person is a reflection of you. Literally, no one else is out there. So if you hold a grudge against somebody, you don't like them or they don't like you and you're reacting to that, that is putting your self, your heart, in a jail of your own making. It's of your own making. Any grudge you hold against somebody is holding your heart behind a wall of hate and resentment and whatever. It's only hurting you. Forgiveness can't even. It's another thing Course in Miracles talks about is forgiveness. You're really forgiving nothing because nothing happened. Literally, whatever supposedly happened. Say a little girl or boy is molested when they were young. It's gone. It's done. Yeah, I mean, so Peter and I were watching, he's been watching all the videos from when we were younger. And he's like, when the kids were growing up, snowmobiling, four-wheeling, all this, going to camp. Not, he's like, if that wasn't on video, I wouldn't even, he goes, I'm watching myself do this. And I don't remember it. It's gone. It's done. But if something that caused emotion, your mind will keep, like say somebody was molested, a little girl was molested or whatever, a little boy, and they just kept that as an identity. They kept those thoughts alive. So see, God, it's hard to talk about because they're not keeping the thoughts alive. The thoughts are alive, but they're identifying with them and believing. It just keeps a belief of I've been victimized by blah, blah, blah. It's done. It is done. It's been done forever. There are adults say they're 50 years old and they're still holding on to that. They did this to me. That hurts. carrying 50 years of I'm a victim of them, and the resentment you have for this person hurts you. That person's going on with their life. And it doesn't mean that you can't, I don't know, bring them to court, get charged, whatever happens to prevent it from happening to somebody else. I don't know, whatever life does, life's going to do. But just holding that resentment and keep revisiting those painful memories, just, I mean, because it's been proven too that our memories they fade and we don't remember. We, our minds start making its own stories out of it. It's making it even worse than it, I mean, I don't know if it can be worse. I've never been in that situation. What has happened though? Trying to think of a victim story that I had going. Wow, I can't even recall a victim story. Holy crap. I can think of little petty things like somebody broke into our car once. Well, okay. So I used to have a victim story of the way my mom treated me when I was little. That's what kept me in jail. She was treated even worse till I realized I was not the one. I, I wasn't wrong. She wasn't wrong. There was no wrong. It's just what was. Not good, not bad. That's what our mind does. Good, bad, right, wrong. It's constantly duality when literally everything just is what it is. Our minds separate it, which makes you separate, believes you're separate from God or whatever's growing these fingernails another week, moving the trees, making the clouds go, whatever's doing all of this. I like to call, okay, I say I like to call it God. Does it make it right? It doesn't make it right or wrong. That's my whole point. It just is. Can you let it go? For your sake, not for anybody else's sake, for yours. Because every time you think about what happened, there's pain in this body. Every time you're attached to a thought, when it pops in, how they did this to me, that's causing your body pain. You can, yeah, I know you know that it hurts. That's why when those thoughts come up and the contraction comes in that body, breathe, follow that breath. And Judy says, bring the, the breath right down to the sides of your body. Oh, it's okay to hurt. Yeah. Oh, hurt all you want. It's totally okay to hurt. So the hurt, quote unquote, happened in the past. How long are you going to continue the hurt? Because as it hurts, this body is being compromised here in this dream. As the hurt comes up, it causes pain in the body. What Eckhart Tolle talks about, the pain body. And it just builds and builds and builds, and then it's got to spew all over somebody who's triggered it. An innocent person in your life, husband, kid, whatever, it just builds. A work coworker, somebody's going to get it. It's going to come out because it builds too much inside, too much upset, discontent, dis-ease. Instead of being easeful in the body, it's dis-easeful. It creates so much dis-ease against ease. Because life as a baby it's easeful. No different from the bird. Easeful. Think about a bird or a dog. It's easeful. Just here, there, they're just following their nose, following their feet. There's nobody in there going, oh, I should. The word should, shouldn't, get rid of them. I should have. No, you can't should have. It's the most violent word in our vocabulary is should. Worse than any swear word going because it's internally painful, adding to everything. I should have. They should have. They shouldn't have. What? They couldn't have done it any different. Just like you can't do it any different until you see differently. And if you hold contempt and anger and resentment for anybody, you're the one behind the wall. You're the one that's in pain. Your heart is constricted, which doesn't, that keeps the joy down, keeps the aliveness down, the aliveness of what you are as a little one. That aliveness that when you were little used to be. That's another thing my mom always used to shh, calm down. She didn't like, because it was shushed out of her too. It used to be if somebody said shh to me, oh my God, I would lose it. That was a trigger. And now it's okay because I've been shushed recently and it's okay. It's okay. That was amazing because mom was the only one that shushed me until recently. And it was perfect. It was perfect. She's me. The one who shushed me is me. So I could see that it's okay. It's just, it's not even a word. It's sounds, which planted a trigger in here that I'm doing something wrong. Mm-mm. That whole thing, you can't do it wrong. Nobody's done it wrong. It's life happening. It's literally for you. You can use it to wake up to this. Or you can continue, they shouldn't have, and just be stuck behind that wall. It's okay. Yeah, it's totally okay. Part of the healing process. Yeah, I mean, it just frees you up when you forgive yourself for everything, realizing you didn't do anything wrong. Because that's the bottom line. It's not about somebody else doing something wrong. It's the one that's beating you up for doing something wrong. Because that's where the belief is. I've done something wrong. And blaming them. The blame. Blame is another. That's deep, though. What I just said is very deep. It goes underneath because blame is superficial, so you don't get to see where you believe you've done something wrong. This goes to part of the me that can do something wrong, the me that you believe you are, but you're not, and neither is the one that supposedly did whatever. That's not who they are either. It's life happening. And then all the meaning comes on. It's wrong. It didn't happen to anybody. That's a deep one. You have to see that you're not this body and mind. You are the thought. You are not the thoughts, or you are behind it. You are the spirit, the nothingness, the emptiness, like the baby. Think of the perpetrator If there's a perpetrator, there has to be a victim. There's the duality. It's not true. Think of the baby. It's empty. Can it do something wrong? Taylor said, because he the baby is feeding the dog now. We're not allowed to feed that dog any scraps. Well, the baby is feeding the dog and laughing. The dog's lapping his fingers and he's laughing his ass off. And Taylor's videoing it. And he's like, how am I gonna reprimand this kid? How am I gonna tell him he's doing something wrong, basically? It's gonna kill the dog. What the hell? Anyway, that baby is innocent, just like you, just like the perpetrator. Every single entity is innocent. Innocent. Believing their thoughts is all. Even Hitler was innocent, and they're not taking away all the atrocities or whatever that happened in the dream. People who died. See where all the pain comes from? Believing we are people. Believing we are bodies. When you see that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. So there's really no one being hurt. And if you think about this as us as a wave in the ocean, living out its life, and it goes back to the ocean. It never left. We never left the ocean. Does that help? Nobody's left the ocean. We're just here to play, to come back to the love that we have always been, the ocean that we've always been. We just took on the idea that we are these thoughts and these bodies. We believed it. No baby believes that. No toddler believes that. It's when it's told, looking in the mirror, oh, that's me. Don't touch that. Bad. There it comes, right there. The me can do something wrong. I don't know. I'm hoping this translated. It felt really clear here. Alicia, I hope. See how the mind wants to make it right or wrong. And hold that. I'm a victim. He did this. She did this to me. I love you too. All of you. Just love you. It just comes out. The ocean that we are. Feels so good. Right? But when we feel like a victim, the love is not felt. The love that we are is not felt. The ocean that we are is not felt. Then it's fight, fight, fight. And the body pays. That's it. I think that's it. Gotta upload this to YouTube. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Whoever comes after, whoever. I try to pin it. I can't pin it. It won't let me pin it to my page on the top. That's what I want to do, but I've looked everywhere. There's whatever. You guys have a wonderful week, and it'll be Sunday again before we know it. God, these weeks, they're just flying. All right.